One. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
So it is Friday, so that means that it is story problem day. And this week we have been learning about different animals, the penguin, the giraffe, and the camel in our story problem, in our reader's workshop, which is listening comprehension this week. And so I thought that it would be great to use those animals in our story problems. So today our story problem is about a camel. So remember, when we read story problems, we have a 3 reads protocol. The first read, we think about the character, and we think about what the character is doing, or what the person in the story is doing, or the animal in this case. And the second time we read, we look at the number set, we pick our number set, and then we think about what those numbers represent in our problem. And then in the third and last read, we read it again to just solidify our thinking and figure out what we're being asked to do. So while I read the problem right now, I invite you to think about who the story is about and what they're doing. All right. Camels love to sit in the hot sand. Camels were sitting in the sun. Camels got too hot and wanted to search for shade. How many camels are still sitting in the sun? Okay, so I'm going to read it one more time. Camels love to sit on the hot sand. Camels were sitting in the sun. Camels got too hot and wanted to search for shade. How many camels are still sitting in the sun? All right. So friends at home, remember you can pause the video to think about what the story is about and what the characters are doing. So teachers, when you have an idea, just put a thumb up so that I can call on you and you can share your ideas. Ms. Rosales, who is the story about today?
The story is about camels that are sitting in the hot sand. But then some of them went looking for shade, and only a few of them, less than the original amount, are still in the sand.
Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to show you. I'm doing it on Seesaw from now so that you can see exactly what we expect from you. So then on here, here is our story problem sheet, and we are going to pick a number set. So we have 87 and 9, 14 and 7, 23, 8, 44 and 7. So Miss T, can you pick our number set for today?
I think I'll choose 23 and 8.
23 and 8. Thank you, Miss T. So remember, we circle our number set and we want to make sure that we write it in. I know it's a little difficult, but try your best, or you can write it on top. 8. And so now we need to reread the problem our second time and really think about what those numbers represent in this story problem. Okay. Camels love to sit on the hot sand. 23 camels were sitting in the sun. 8 camels got too hot and wanted to search for shade. How many camels are still sitting in the sun? Okay. So let's think about what that 23 means in this story. Remember, if you need more think time, just press the pause button and then play when you're ready. And teachers, when you have an idea of what you think 23 represents in this problem, put a thumb up. All right, Ms. Hernandez, in your opinion, what do you think 23 means?
I think 23 means the camels that were sitting in the sun.
So at first, just like Ms. Rosales said, there were some camels who were sitting in the sun. And those, now we know the number is 23. Miss T, what does the 8 represent in this story?
It means the 8 camels that left the sun and went to the shade.
Thank you for that clarification. All right, so now we know what the numbers represent. So now we need to figure out what we're being asked to solve. So my friend, Ms. Rosales, can you read the story one more time and then tell us, what are we being asked to solve?
It says camels love to sit on the hot sand. 23 camels were sitting in the sun. 8 camels got too hot and wanted to search for shade. How many camels are still sitting in the sun? So looking at this problem and hearing it again with the numbers, I started with 23, 8 left, and I'm trying to figure out how much was left. I'm answering how many camels are still sitting in the sun.
Thank you, Ms. Rosales. So now is our opportunity to work and use an efficient strategy to solve the problem. Remember, just like Ms. Rosales said, we started with 23 camels in the sun. And then 8 camels left to get some shade. So how many camels are left sitting in the sun? So sometimes we might need a tool, and while teachers are working, I will draw the tool for our friends at home. And teachers, when you're ready, just put a thumb up. So I like to use a tape diagram to really help me figure out what we're talking about. So I know that the total amount of camels is 23 and 8. I'm going to put 8 here, 8 left. So we're trying to figure out how many are still sitting in the sun. This is just a tool that I use that helps me visualize the problem. Okay. Ms. T, would you mind sharing your solution or equation, your strategy first?
Yeah, of course. So I remember yesterday, Ms. Rosales showed me a new strategy that I really wanted to try and challenge myself in today. And so I did a friendly number where I decomposed the two numbers. And I used her strategy of, I looked and saw what numbers 23 and 8 had in common. And I love working with 20 because it's a 10, a clear 10, and then it's 20 and 3. And I know that 8 also has a 3 in there. So I broke 8 into a 3 and a 5. And then those 2 3s cancel each other out. And so I'm left with 20 minus 5. And I know if I skip count, I know I can skip count by my 5s, that the 5 before 20 is 15. And so my answer is 15.
Thank you for that. And you used 2 strategies to solve for one thing. So thank you for that. So yeah, I did also learn from Ms. Rosales yesterday, or the day before, actually it was yesterday, about how we can decompose a number and then find a similar number in each of those and then cancel them out, because we know when a number is subtracted by itself, it's automatically 0. So then you showed that you had left 20 minus 5. And then you did a number line to show that part of the equation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you started with 20 because we always start with our minuend, and you did 5 hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it left you, your answer was 15. So if we were to write the equation using our text, our equation, just like we have on the top, would be 23 minus 8 equals 15. Okay, and so friends at home, this is one strategy that we are using, but we always want to use 2 strategies, at least 2 strategies to check our answer. So this was one strategy, and we're going to try another strategy. So is there anyone else who might have a different strategy? Ooh, Ms. Hernandez is eager to share. Yes, Ms. Hernandez, can you share your strategy with our friends?
So I'm thinking of when I'm subtracting, I can try to use counters or draw counters if I have to. But I know if I'm going to count the camels that went away, I have to count back. Mm-hmm. So we know that there were 23. So I drew 8 counters for the ones who went away, and I'm going to count back from there. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. So I stopped at 15. So if there were 23 camels in the sand, take away the 8 that went away, there were 15 left sitting in the sand.
Thank you. Okay, so we have 23, and then she wanted to use those counters. She did this problem yesterday too, a similar strategy. And I'm going to call it Hernandez strategy, where you use counting back and counters. So 23 in my head and then counting back. Let's use the Hernandez strategy. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, and 15. We ended with 15. So I'm going to use my text to show the equation. Put it right here. So 23 minus 8 equals 15. Beautiful. So we used decomposing and the number line strategy, and then we also used our famous Hernandez strategy. And so now I'm going to write the answer. I know it's really difficult to write the answer here, so it might be best if you type it. Maybe that would be a better part. And it says 15 camels are still sitting in the sun. So I still wrote my complete sentence using the text feature. So that's something that we can do if it's too hard to write in the number there. We can always copy the sentence and just write it in our own words. So friends, I wanted you to see exactly how we need to do our math on Seesaw, and we still use 2 or more strategies to show our work, and we got the correct answer in both of the strategies. So remember, you have 3 other number sets you can work with, and I'm also going to include a second page for my friends who want to challenge themselves and really practice their math strategies. So we can't wait to see all of your beautiful work. Have a great weekend after this, and we'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.